I'm gonna try this one more time. Let's see if we get some viewers in here. This time we're just gonna. This time we're just gonna do this whether or not people come and stream. I don't even care at this point. Let's just see. God, man, that's. Now we got that. Heat up this. It's not what I meant to do. Wait. Keep going. I'm gonna fix myself a meal because I'm a little bit hungry, to be honest. And, you know. Might have heated that up a little bit too long, but I don't know. No viewers here, so. But I'm gonna stream no matter what. I had 2 viewers in my first stream, no viewers in this stream, and you know. I'm gonna wait for somebody to maybe come in here, and then I might stream. start it. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead either way. All right, nobody's watching, but I gotta get this done. What's up, everybody? Watching playback. Got somebody in here. All right, well, we'll start the game predictions now. What's up, everybody? Houston versus Auburn. That's the first matchup we'll talk about. Houston versus Auburn. Houston's 11-2. Auburn is 6-6. Auburn's a 2-point favorite. 51 over, and whoever just came in left. We gotta go in though. But 51 over under. I think that Houston's. I just think Houston's gonna be more motivated. I don't really think Auburn will be that motivated. I mean, after the A&M game, they were just kind of, they besides Alabama, they just didn't, they didn't have that motivation to want to be there. Honestly, I don't think they'll have it here. Their two starting corners are opting out. Houston's a very good passing offense, or decent passing offense. They like to run the ball a lot. So I think they'll be able to expose that. Houston has really good athletes. Another thing, too. I'm going to take Houston. I really think they're going to have more motivation. They have decent athletes. Auburn's missing their best two corners. What's up, Christopher McDavid? But Auburn's missing their best two corners, which is going to cause some holes. That's not very good. I'm going to pick Houston to win this one, 31-24. More motivation, and Auburn's best two corners opted out. That's a bad combination for Auburn. I got Houston in this one. Next matchup, we got Air Force and Louisville. We got triple option offense for Air Force, and then Louisville, the overhyped team every year. Louisville's just not a very physical team. I know Air Force, all they do is run the triple option, but it does confuse a lot of teams because really the triple option, teams just don't prepare for that stuff. And plus, Louisville's not a very physical team. The run defense is not very good. And they're probably going to get run all over the field, to be honest. And Air Force, they kind of have, they got some elusive backs, power backs, kind of like a mix. A decent running quarterback. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Air Force is winning this one 38-14 or 34-14. Louisville just, not a very good team, to be honest. Air Force has a pretty good team. Louisville's favored by one in this game. I just disagree with that. I think people are overlooking, all the factors that go into these games, and Auburn being favored and Louisville being favored. I mean, I don't agree with it. Oh, jeez. My bad. I just don't, I don't buy it. Next, we got, and no viewers, but we'll keep going. We got Mississippi State and Texas Tech, air raid offense versus Mike Leach's old team. Yeah, Mississippi State favored by 10 points with the. Oh, yeah, by the way, Air Force Louisville over under is 54. Mississippi State and Texas Tech, the over under is 58.5. Yeah. Uh, Texas Tech doesn't exactly have a great pass defense, but they don't have a horrible pass defense either. I just think Mississippi State's the better team, better athletes, faster players. And Texas Tech is mostly a running team, and it hurts. And Mississippi State's run defense is really good. Their front seven, they bring pass rush, really good pass rush, really great, amazing run defense, great run defense. They only, if I'm not mistaken, they only allow 100 yards per game or something like that. So yeah, put all the factors into it. I think Mississippi State takes this game. I think they're gonna win. I gotta come up with a score now. I don't think Texas Tech is gonna score that much. I'm gonna go 35. I'm gonna go 35 to 35-14. No field goals in this game, just touchdowns. That's just how I think it's gonna end up. Probably might have just lost some viewers from that. All right, next we got UCLA versus NC State. NC State favored by 2. UCLA favored by, or no, 59.5 over under. Yeah, I mean, NC State's ranked. Houston was ranked, by the way, as well. You got UCLA, who really likes to run the ball. They like to throw it too. DTR is a really good quarterback. He makes a lot of plays. This is actually a really good ball game between two teams that that really are decent. You got UCLA. I mean, NC State. Their pass defense. Their pass defense has been really good. It's mainly their DBs. And UCLA's passing game is nothing special. In fact, I'd say it's below average. They don't have really good receivers, to be honest. Their quarterback is good, receivers are not. UCLA loves to run the football. We've known that. Well, you have if you've been watching. It's kind of a mix of Charbonnet. You got the backup, and then DTR. He'll run on his read options and all that. Do his thing. And then you got NC State. They just they play balanced football. Nothing special. DTR does kind of provide UCLA with a gimmick, I'd say, with the mobility and just his special trait, I'd say. But yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest here, this is hard. Yeah, this is actually a really hard game to pick. Oh, jeez. You know what? I'm going to pick NC State here. I think the defense will do its job. A pretty good run defense, really great pass defense. I think they'll do their job. They'll do their thing. I think they're going to win the game. I really do. 27-24, NC State. Yeah, we'll go with that. Next game, we got West Virginia versus Minnesota. We got Golden Blue Dudes team 8-4. Christ. 8-4 West Virginia. No, 8-4 Minnesota. 6-6 West Virginia. You got Minnesota here favored by about 5. Over-unders 45, So, you look into the game, a lesser game, so, both games to say the least. West Virginia West Virginia's limited on offense. They don't really do that. They don't do. I mean, they find a way to get points, but they don't usually get yards. That's just not their thing. They got these tall receivers that they'll win some jump balls, but against Minnesota, who has a pretty good defense for the most part. That's not going to be very good. Besides Ohio State, Minnesota's pretty much shut down. I wouldn't say shut down, but they've pretty much handled every team on defense. You know, Minnesota. I don't know what happened there on my TV, but Minnesota, or West Virginia, they both don't really pass the ball. Especially Minnesota, they run the ball really well though. With their running back, Thomas. And I think that Kai Thomas, it's really their offensive line because Kai Thomas coming into the season, he was their backup running back and all that. I really think it's Minnesota's offensive line, probably the best part of their offense, maybe their best part of their team, honestly. West Virginia's defensive line is not. It's good, but I don't think it's going to compete with the offensive line. I just think Minnesota wins the trenches on both sides of the ball. I think that will be the main difference to the game. Considering all that, though, I think Minnesota's going to take this game. I really do. 27-17, kind of, they'll run the ball, and I think that's going to help them win this game. All right, but yeah, Minnesota's winning that one 27-17. I think Smash Mouth football game. If you like old school football, I think that's a good game to watch, even though it's not between two very good teams. Sorry to go on Bluetooth, but that was canceled, so gotta skip that. I'm talking about SMU versus Virginia. And you got Maryland versus Virginia Tech, two 6-6 teams. Maryland was actually looking really good early in the season, and then they kind of fell off. Played their real opponents, Both teams here like to throw the ball a lot. I'll say that, but looking into the game, two offenses who actually I'd say pretty good offenses to be honest. These offenses do cause teams, even some of the good teams, they cause some of the good teams some trouble. They score. Not great offenses, but good offenses. Maryland, they built their offense off of throwing the ball. Virginia Tech likes to run the ball, so you got that in there. Defensively, this is why they both went 6-6. Defensively, these teams are not very good. Not very good stopping the run. Not very good. Virginia Tech's got some decent pass defense, but they don't stop the run very well. So I think if you like high scoring and throwing the ball around and running the ball, you like offense, I think this is the game for you. Now, who's going to win this game? That's the question here. I I don't think Maryland has a very good matchup against Virginia Tech's pass defense. I don't think that's a very good matchup at all. Virginia Tech provides pressure on the quarterback. Considering all that, I think Virginia Tech's gonna take this one. I think they do it. Pick a score here. Go 28-17. I got Virginia Tech winning this one. Running away, running the ball for the victory. All right, let me get some more ketchup here. We'll get to our next game. Now we're starting to get to some of the good games. Like good games. There is some good non-New Year's Six bowls. Give me a second. Clemson versus Iowa State. Oh yeah, by the way, Maryland's favored by 3.5, over under 55. Clemson versus Iowa State. Clemson's a 1.5 point favorite, 44 over under, low over under there. That makes sense though because of the Clemson defense. I don't see Iowa State winning this game. I really don't. This is basically the disappointment bowl. I don't see Iowa State winning this. I mean, Breece Hall opted out. Their offense is gone because of that. They can throw the ball a little bit, but with him opting out, the chance and them being the worst team, even with him against Clemson, the chances of them winning this game are very slim. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't see it. Clemson's defense is amazing. It really is amazing. By the way, that's not a joke. Their offense is limited, but I think it can just barely squeak by. Iowa State has a pretty good a pretty good defense, to be honest. What's up, Pittsburgh Penguins? We'll get to your bowl game soon, sir. Just tune in. But Iowa State, they allowed their pass defense is really good. To be honest, really good pass defense there. Run defense is okay. You take the interpretation, considering the best player opted out for Iowa State, I cannot pick Iowa State. Iowa State. I can't pick them. They're not winning this game. You're not. But I think it will be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say my Christmas is great. Pittsburgh Penguins, our sports teams. 17-3, Clemson's winning that one. Smash Mouth football there. I mean, there's not much of an offense for Iowa State after Breece Hall's gone. They can pass it a little bit, but I'm sorry, but Clemson, more physical team, better anyways, even with Breece Hall. It's very hard to score without him. Oregon versus Oklahoma. Probably the best non-New Year's Six bowl game. As these two teams all year were looking at playoffs and then kind of bounced out of it. Oregon completely destroyed their season versus Utah. And Oklahoma just got unlucky. They went 10-2, which in the Big 12, which normally get yourself to a New Year's Six bowl, but considering that two other Big 12 teams had 2 losses and all the other stuff, But I will say this, you got Oregon. I think it's been, and I know maybe And even before, it was kind of known, but I think it's very known now. Oregon just doesn't have a very good quarterback. They don't. Anthony Brown is not. Oh, jeez, I gotta stretch it out a little bit. Hold on. Thank you, but give me a second. I need to. Oh, my legs. Yeah, but I mean, going back to the game, Oregon has a really good run game. They've had it all year, but you know, I'm sorry, but Oregon just doesn't have a quarterback. They just don't. They don't have a quarterback. Um, and the only way you can really, play with that type of quarterbacks if you have, a great defense, all that. Oregon just doesn't have it. Oklahoma, they're in a spot where they literally could have. They literally could have made it to the Big 12 and won it. Lost at the last second. Oklahoma State. Great game, though. They don't have a head coach, though. Neither does Oregon. Battle of the head coach ball. They've both found their head coaches, though. Two defensive masterminds. Brent Venables and Dan Lanning. What do you think about the NFL playoffs? You know, just hope and pray the Falcons make it. Yeah, probably not going to happen, but I'm happy with the year. We overachieved, and. What's your favorite team? And I'll talk about them. But so then I'm going to get back to the bowl games. Yeah, but I mean, Oregon, they're literally just going to have to run the ball down Oklahoma's throats if they want to win. If I'm Oklahoma, I'm preparing. I'm doing the same thing Utah did: stack the box, do all that stuff. And as for Oregon's defense, um, you got an Oklahoma team who runs the ball really well. They throw it really well. They do both. Oregon's kind of in their pass defense is not very good. And then the run defense. Oh, Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. Well, let me talk NFL for a second then. Pittsburgh, Ben Roethlisberger needs to retire. He really does. That's not taking shots at Ben Roethlisberger, but he does not have it anymore. He's basically a game manager, and that's not. Steelers can't have that. It doesn't. They can't do that. You got the Browns, you got the Ravens too. Okay, pretty good teams. Um, you got a Browns team who likes to, or they just don't. Their offensive game plan is messed up. They're built to run the ball and they throw it. And then the Ravens, having a little bit of a quarterback problem. Seems like they'll get Lamar Jackson back by then, though. That's going to give you problems. You beat the Ravens earlier in the year. And if I'm not mistaken, you beat the Browns earlier in the year as well. Yep, you did. I don't think they'll get in. I really don't. Um, yeah, I mean, it's probably in your best interest to bench Ben Roethlisberger. He doesn't have it. He's not the guy. He's not the guy you should be playing. Dwayne Haskins, that's who I'd play. Um, the Oregon-Oklahoma game, though, I think Oklahoma's going to take it 34-24. They're favored by 7. The over-under is 60. That's how we're going to do it. We got that one signature win over Ohio State. Other than that, pretty much nothing in Oklahoma. All right, next we got Carolina Jackpots team, North Carolina versus South Carolina. You got the underachieving North Carolina Tar Heels, who showed their potential against some really good teams. I mean, look, North Carolina played and beat some really good teams. They played Notre Dame well. They beat Wake Forest. They played Pittsburgh tough. They played NC State tough. I mean, they played a lot of good teams. And the fact that they didn't win those games was really disappointing. The Virginia Tech loss, the Georgia Tech loss, specifically the Georgia Tech loss, is inexcusable. But I mean, they showed their potential in a lot of games. Their potential is high. Their consistency is not good at all. I think the story for North Carolina, and this has been the story since for the past 2 years specifically, really since Mac Brown's ever gotten there. They don't have a defense. They don't have a defense, and if they want to be anything significant in the future, like they did when they made the Orange Bowl, did all that stuff, they need to get one. Their offense is really good. Defense is not. Of course, you got Sam Howell leaving, so a lot of things going on there. But they just out talent South Carolina. They really do. Now, the main thing for this game is, was North Carolina? I mean, does North Carolina want to bring it to the table? It seems like South Carolina, they've actually had a lot of energy all the way through the season, not quitting on Shane Beamer. They picked up some big wins at the end of the season. They've done really well. They did well. They tried their best against Clemson. They beat Auburn. They beat Florida. They've just been really energized, and that's my main thing coming into this game. I just don't know if North Carolina's going to have it necessarily, or like have the energy. I just don't know, but it's literally motivation and talent. South Carolina's got more motivation. North Carolina has a lot more talent, and yeah. North Carolina doesn't have a good defense, but by no means are they playing a good offense either. Even one surprising thing for North Carolina is even after they lost Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, their run game was still amazing. And Sam Howell kind of disappointed. The whole team kind of disappointed, but it shows you got to get a defense. You really do. And in South Carolina, average offense, pretty good pass defense, okay run defense. I'm picking North Carolina here. I just don't think South Carolina has the talent. If South Carolina did have the talents with their motivation, I think they could win this, but they don't have the talent. They will next year, though, bring in Austin Stockner and Spencer Rattler. It's two big pickups right there, so that'll be an interesting team to watch next year. But until then, I don't see it. I think North Carolina's going to pick up this win. I think they'll score a lot of points. I'm going to go 45-24. I really think South Carolina does have a really good run defense, but I think that's going to be the game. They're favored by 9, 58 over under. So yeah. Next, we got Tennessee and Purdue. A really spicy, interesting game. A game before, I think the day before the playoff games, which is really nice. So it's nice that they set us up with that. Tennessee, Purdue. I originally had Purdue this game, and in the bowl pick'em challenge, I picked Purdue. I kind of need them to win. Unfortunately, though, since then, their best two players have opted out. I don't think I've ever had to block anybody, but I don't think I've had to block anybody in a live stream before. But that's my first time You see any mods? If you see anybody ever drop those types of links, you know what I'm talking about. Those those types of links, those bad links, stuff that gets my channel shut down. Um, please remove them, time them out. Let's get back to some football though. Not worry about that stuff. Um, Tennessee favored by 6 this game. Over under 63.5. David Bell opted out for Purdue, and their best defensive player. Well, the defense opted out. I don't know. Kind of has a weird name. That being said, I think the Vols. I think they get a big. I think they get a big win here. I think they get a huge win in the Music City Bowl. This would be a big program-changing win for the Vols, kind of like their 2019 win was over Iowa State, a pretty good Big 12 team. We know the thing with the Vols; they've turned their season around. They run the ball, they pass it. Especially Hendon Hooker, they throw the ball really well. Hendon Hooker's the best quarterback they've had since Joshua Dobbs, and it's a quarterback that they can live with for another year. Tennessee will be a really interesting team next year and the future years. And considering the best two players opted out for Purdue, yes, Vol fans, you're winning this game. Chalk it up, baby. Now to jump on the Vols bandwagon here. Whee! Yeah. Purdue, their defense. They throw the ball really well. That's the only thing Purdue does well. They don't really do anything else well. And considering that, Vols will win this game 45-28. I really think the Vols will bring the energy just like they have against three really good teams. Three great teams. I think they'll bring the energy versus, they brought the energy versus Ole Miss, brought the energy versus Alabama. They looked the more motivated team, and they tried their best against Georgia. They played really well versus a good ACC champion Pittsburgh team. Played their best. They cost themselves their own game against Florida. They had that game, but they made their own mistakes, dropping passes, targeting. 45-28. Tennessee gets this win in a high-scoring game. 63 is the over/under. Tennessee is favored by 6. But I still need Purdue to win this game. 63.5 over. Next is Wisconsin versus Arizona State. One of the best players for Arizona State is transferring. That's not good. You got Wisconsin. A defense, especially their run defense. Run defense is the best in the nation by far, and it's not close. Their run defense is amazing. But you got a Wisconsin run defense. Pass defense is pretty good as well. Just a great defense overall, to be honest. You got Arizona State, best player opted out. Wisconsin's a limited offense in their own right. They run the ball okay, I guess, but they're not. They run the ball really well, okay, but they don't really throw it, So, considering all that, Jacob, who do you think will win the Super Bowl? I kind of want to do another stream on that, give my predictions for the NFL playoffs, but that's kind of what I want to do, but I'll give you some teams I'm thinking between. I'm thinking between, the Rams, Packers, Cowboys, Chiefs, The Titans, especially they get Derrick Henry back. The Patriots, you know, I don't think they'll go all the way, but Dolphins and Colts are really hot right now, so they can shake some things up. Uh, yeah, kind of like in that mix, you know. The Buccaneers, you know, maybe. You know, so you got those teams. Um, I think this will be a smash mouth, low scoring game. Not well, Arizona State won't use smash mouth, but well, they kind of will. They run the ball pretty well. But I don't. Arizona State's a part of this Pac-12 philosophy, and this goes around the whole Pac-12. You know the old philosophy, philosophy, where you run the setup, the pass, to get the play action going. Pac-12 is kind of like they're kind of flipping it around. They're using the pass to set up the run, and it's kind of like a gimmick, you know, in a way. And they've caught on to this by doing this. You throw the ball around. You know, they only run the ball when they think they can get 10 yards on the play. And it's kind of a cool gimmick, and it's going around the Pac-12, and it's kind of helping them. Uh, but I don't think it'll work this game, not against Wisconsin's run defense. Uh, and I think Wisconsin will win this game. Smash Mount, 20-10. That's going to be my score prediction for this one. But that would be a really cool, and see if other teams pick it up. Run, pass, set up the run. Used to be run, set up the pass, set up the run, or set up the run now. Since the run has less of an average, you're thinking Pac-12. You're not winning that game. We're doing the New Year's Six Bowls last, by the way, for anybody just watching. We're actually really close. How many more games do we got before New Year's Six? One. Why does it do that? All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more games since Cincinnati. Yeah, what's up, traveling fools? Hey, traveling fools, tell me what's going on in South Beach. You know, why are they faking and opting out COVID? You know, opting out because of COVID. Why are they faking it? They're scared. They're scared of Washington State, a Pac-12 team. Not very good traveling. Your team going down bad. Sunball. They've replaced you, though. They've replaced you with Central Michigan. Bye, Jacob. Good night. All right, see you, Pittsburgh. Next ball game, Texas Sailor Gator Bowl. Wake Forest hurt by 14.5, 61.5 over under. Originally, I had Texas A&M beating Wake Forest, but in a pretty good blowout. But there's a difference between a 8-4 Texas A&M SEC team and then a 5-7 Rutgers Big Ten team. If Rutgers can get this win, this will be a big win for them. But I don't think there's much explaining to this game. They always keep the bowl games 6-6 versus 6-6, 8-4 versus 7-5. But you know, when you get in this situation, weird season, weird things happen. A really good passing game from Sam Hartman and Wake Forest. Not many people for Wake Forest are opting out, but makes sense. This is their best team in a long time. And Rutgers, you know, you get called up 10 days or 9 or 8 days before the game, basically a week before the game. You're not prepared. You're just not. You're not prepared. And plus, you're going against a way better team. No. Rutgers' pass defense is not good enough to stop Wake Forest. Their run defense is not very good. Their defense is not very good. Their team isn't very good. They run the ball okay, but other than that, they don't have it. Wake Forest is winning this game. I'm going to say 50, but before I say it, Wake Forest's defense, even against bad teams, not very good. So I think Rutgers will put up some points. Wake Forest defense is horrible. especially their run defense. Uh, Given that though, I think Wake Forest will win this game 55-24 handily, but they will have, you know, I mean, as for Wake Forest's future, is this? I feel like this is a 1 year thing, so I don't think there's pretty anything interesting about the future for Wake Forest. Well, you never know. Washington State versus Central Michigan because Miami is a bunch of whiny quitters and babies. They decide to opt out. They decided to quit versus Washington State. All right. I took too many shots at Miami. I got traveling fools out the stream. I'm sorry, traveling. I didn't mean to do that. You know. No line on this game, actually. You know. Oh, he came back. I thought I took too many shots at Miami there. They don't even have a line for this game. I mean, good God. You don't, That's how unprepared Central Michigan is. Two viewers, by the way. Thank you very much. Washington State, I just think they're the better team, better athletes, better conference, better team, better schedule, It would surprise me if Central Michigan actually would win this game, but, not happening. Central Michigan, a running team facing a run defense that's, granted, not very good. Be honest, they're not a very good run defense. Oh my God. All right, to everyone in the stream, stay here for a second. My computer ran out of battery. We might just lose all of our viewers here, but look, can y'all stay here, please? I gotta run for a second, get a charger, help my computer. Please stay here. So much stuff on the couch. I'll tell you one thing though, getting up does feel good after being squished like that. My phone does not need its charger anymore. Go ahead and unplug that. Be nice if somebody in the chat or something who's watching could say something funny while my computer's charging. Just keep us entertained here. Alright, well, we got it charged. Now we just gotta wait a little bit, probably about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm gonna try to find Uncle Lou's filter. Ah, here's his filter. This is the filter he used to use in his old videos. I don't think he uses the black and white filter like this anymore. I don't think he doesn't. But this is the filter he used to use, and then you got all these others, you know. A lot of filters you can use, even bubbles. This is the filter that these YouTubers, these 3 a.m. videos, they fake. I gotta get out of that. That looks horrible. But they fake the 3 a.m. YouTubers that fake their videos and all that. That's the filter they like to use. Come on, let's load up now. Wow, one viewer waiting on us. Start again. We gotta load up now. Come on now, don't take forever. I'm trying to entertain them the best I can, but I feel like I'm not doing a very good job. Yeah, he left. Told you I'm not doing a very good job. Stop being silly here. Come on, load up. I mean, good lord, it should not take this long to charge. Get up there, man. Come on, thank you. swear to God, if Alabama loses Cincinnati, I'm gonna come back on that Will Anderson's comment all the time. Washington State. All right, back to Washington State, Central Michigan. Summing up what I've said and everything, I think Washington State still will win this game. I think they're the better team. We'll go around 30. I think Central Michigan will shock some people, but I think Washington State takes the win 35-28. Got 2 playoff games. We'll save for later. New Year's Day, Penn State versus Arkansas. Kind of it's probably 2 smash mouth teams. You got Penn State, who doesn't do much of anything on offense. For being honest here, they barely do anything. You got Arkansas, who runs the ball really well on offense. Yeah, they do. Ran the ball really well against Texas earlier this year, and ever since then, no stopping. Except against Georgia. Georgia. Yep. You got the Penn State defense, Arkansas defense, kind of balanced smash mouth football. Arkansas's hurt about 147 over under. I think that the zone read for Arkansas is going to be something that Penn State hasn't seen all year. No one in the Big Ten does that stuff. Building that gimmick for Arkansas. This is actually a really hard game to pick. Penn State's played a lot of teams tough. I think Penn State's going to take this one. I really do. I think Penn State's going to take this game. I think they're a better team than 7-5. You lost by 3 points to Michigan State, who's in the they're in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. You lost by 9 to Ohio State, who's in the Rose Bowl. You lost by 4 to Michigan, who's in the playoffs, the Orange Bowl. And you lost to Iowa with a backup quarterback. Iowa did change some of their defensive stunts during the game to help them come back and win the game. So I think that has something to do with it. In the Illinois game, it never should have happened. But Arkansas, and they got Arkansas who played Alabama close, beat LSU, beat Mississippi State. 2 pretty good wins there. Really, I think that Penn State will come away with the win here. Pretty good defense. Arkansas, the red zone read offense. Arkansas likes to run that 3-3-5, which Penn State, they throw the ball pretty well. They don't run the ball that well at all. They really don't. That's been one of their struggles here. I think that'll work, but I don't think it'll. Man, this game's hard to pick. You know what? I think Penn State will come away with this one. Considering everything, I think Penn State. No, I think oh my God, this is not what I wanted. Oh, jeez. This game is so hard to pick. I cannot pick this game. Did y'all see that? Yeah, this is a very hard game to pick. Penn State was Arkansas. Hey, Neil. I do not want to pick this game. And I think Arkansas, I think they'll have more motivation. Keep in mind, they have 16 super seniors slash seniors playing this game. With that motivation, I think they come away with the win. Count it up. We'll go. If you love Smash Mouth football, I think this is where you're going to find it. Considering all the super seniors and everything, I think Arkansas will pull it to win 17-13. I think they just have more motivation no matter who's the better team. Motivation is a really big thing in bowl games nowadays. Wasn't really a big thing back then, but opt-outs and stuff are big for bowl games now. It's hard to get your team motivated. 16 super seniors slash seniors, I think, will get the job done. Next, you say Brantley. Is this a troll here? I've never seen Neo. Help me out in the chat. I've never seen this guy, Mr. Who's Mr. Chop? I don't know. I don't feel. Neo, help me out here. Should I let him stay or is this a troll here? Thanks, bro. I don't know yet. Give him a chance. Alright, I'll give him a chance, but if he does anything crazy, I've never seen him any before, and because of that, it makes me worry. And he asked a really so-so question that really doesn't have, I don't know, but I'll give him a chance. Nobody's watching that. That's not good. But the Verbo Citrus Bowl next. Kentucky's favored by 3. Over/under is 44. You got Iowa and Kentucky here. Probably another Smash Mouth football game. You got Iowa, who was off to that hot start, and then they kind of faded a little bit. They made it to the Big Ten title game and got clobbered by Michigan. You got Kentucky, Kentucky's played really physical all year. They went off to a hot start as well, then they finished the season 3-3. So, what are you trying to do here? You asked me to say. No. Going back, Aljo lose to Bama. This is not what the video is about. I'll let you stay though, but it's not what the video is about. He hasn't done anything worth being timed out hidden. I know, but when he asked me to say Brantley, I was a little bit concerned because it was just like, that's a weird question. Let's just get back to predictions. Kentucky versus Iowa here. You got two physical teams, Smash Mouth game here. You got Iowa's offense, who's non-existent. or not non-existent, but they just don't, limited offense and against an SEC defense like Kentucky. It's pretty good in its own right. I don't really see them scoring much. That's my name. Oh, okay. I'll let you stay. I'll let you stay. And then you got Kentucky, who's really Iowa, who has a really good defense in its own right. Um, I think this will be a smash mouth. Who do you think's gonna win? Look, I'm getting to it, man. We're doing New Year's Six bowls after all of these bowl games. Considering everything, though, I think. What do I think is gonna happen here? I think Kentucky will prevail in this game, 13-10. That's gonna be my score prediction. They're favored by 3. I think they'll get the win here. Over Iowa. That's my pick. Really hard game to pick, though. Leaning towards Kentucky, though. So we got one more non-New Year's Six bowl game. I think Ole Miss by... Yeah. I'm guessing Ole Miss is his favorite team. Alright. But, yeah. We got LSU and Kansas State, and after that, we'll get into the long-awaited New Year's Six bowl predictions. Yes. You still got, who is it waiting on a team? Somebody's waiting on a team still. Whatever. We're not doing that. LSU and Kansas State. Kansas State favored by 3.5. 48 over under here. Yeah, you got LSU, who played a lot of teams close this year, but didn't beat them. Playing teams close is great, but you gotta win. They got the big win over Texas A&M, but they lost close games to Arkansas, Alabama, lost a close game to Ole Miss. Decently close game, I'd say. Auburn was a close game, and UCLA was an okay close game. Kentucky, they kind of fell down there, but In fact, I think that Kentucky win was that Kentucky. I think that Kentucky win was the only team to beat a team outside. Like that was the only game the SEC won versus the SEC West outside of Georgia games. And I just got an Amber Alert. Sorry, guys. 3 viewers in the stream now, but I just got an Amber Alert. Hoping it's not bad or anything. Wishing the best. Prayers. Back to LSU and Kansas State, though. You got Kansas State with one special player, Deuce Vaughn. He's been balling out this year. Probably the best player for them. He's really good. Kansas State's offensive line is not very good, but the running back is very elusive and all that. Hey, Jacob Watson. Hey, Christopher. I don't think KSU wins. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. But you got LSU, who kind of limited on offense. They throw the ball a little bit, but quarterback struggles. Kansas State with that one key player. I think that's going to cause some problems. Although I don't think it's enough. I think LSU's going to win this one. Close, but I'm going to go 24-20. A little bit surprised, to say the least, that Kansas State's favored by 3.5. Mr. Chomp says, hi, PP. Po. Just talk about the Amber Alert, I guess. Okay, if you start spamming, I'm going to time you out now. Don't spam. Alright. Alright, look, I'm going to time you out soon, sir. Keep spamming. Don't. Alright, Neil timed it out. I was going to give him one more chance, but Should I block him to go with that? The mods can make the decision there to block him or not. Thanks for Neo for doing his job there. I've never seen that guy before. I might block him, but I'll let the mods take care of that. It's their decision. But definitely deserve to be timed out there. Let's just move on to the New Year's Six Bowls. Ignore those idiots. Yeah, good job, Neo. Use your mod power. We got our first New Year's Six Bowl. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, that'll be played. I will get them next time. Well, don't just, We got our first New Year's Six Bowl played on December 30th. So 2 days from now, after tomorrow, we got our first New Year's Six Bowl. Pittsburgh and Michigan State. This game is limited, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't... The two stars for these teams opted out. I mean, Kenny Pickett and then Kenneth Walker both opted out. That really sucks. It makes the game a lot less entertaining. I don't, I don't know, man. It makes the game a lot less entertaining when you have the two best players, the best player for each team opt out. I don't, it. But considering all that, it's kind of hard to pick this game. Pittsburgh runs the ball a little bit. And even then, they can still expose a Michigan State pass defense that is the worst in the nation. Or around the worst, something like that. So, so you're still playing up against that. And then you got a run defense for Pittsburgh that's really great. So, and especially with Kenneth Walker out, running the ball for Michigan State is basically not an option against a really good Pittsburgh run defense. Pass defense for Pittsburgh is not that good, though. So you're going to see some things. This is a hard game to pick. But Michigan State, they cause some havoc on defense. They make plays. I'm going to pick Michigan State. I'm going to go with Michigan State in this one. I really am. And Kenneth Walker's been their entire offense most of the year, but I'm going to the Peach Bowl, Jacob. Well, that's great. I just, and offenses might be limited this game. It might be a low-scoring game. I don't know if it will be, but it might be because you're losing your best offensive players in each team. I think since Michigan State, Pittsburgh wins by 10. I don't know about that. I think Michigan State, since they cause a lot of havoc on defense, per se, I really think they'll come away with it, this one. And I think they're going to win this one 24 to... I'm going to go 24 to 14. They'll win by 10. I hope it's not canceled. I hope it's not either, but... No, I'm going to go 24-17. I think they'll cause enough havoc, though, to win the game. 24-17, MSU is going to win this one. Pull away, I think. That's probably the least exciting New Year's Six Bowl, considering the opt-outs and stuff, it comes to a point where it's like, how many people are really going to pay attention to watch this game? And just with 5 bowl games left, my internet decides that it wants to opt out. My internet's opting out here. Opting out this video. Oh, here it comes back. All right, there we go. There we go. That's what we needed. Next New Year's Six Bowl. What's next? We'll save 2 playoff games for last. So skipping those. The next bowl game that it goes back to the top all the time. It's irritating. The Fiesta Bowl between Oklahoma State and Notre Dame here. Notre Dame, can they overcome their 28 years without winning a big bowl game? 0-10 in big postseason games since 1993. They've lost 8 New Year's Six Bowls / BCS Bowls, a conference championship, 2 playoff games, and a natty. So 7 big bowl games, I think. And then the 2 playoff games and the natty and the conference. Well, I think 0-11 it is, yeah. So 0-11 since 1993, 0-10, something like that. Oklahoma State having their best year in a long time. Really their best year since he says Oklahoma State wins. Their best year since 2011, I'd like to say here. They were inches away from making the playoffs. And, well, Georgia lost. So, what have they gotten over Cincinnati even with the win? I don't know. If Georgia would have won, they definitely would have gotten in. But, yeah, they're inches away from the playoffs. Inches away from the Big 12 title. That Baylor guy, that showed a lot of passion on that play. Oklahoma State, they like to run the ball. They cause havoc on defense. Oklahoma State's run defense is really good. But we saw them when they played a really good running team in Oklahoma, their run defense was not good. But typically it was really good. Their linebackers, they get a lot of sacks. The pressure for Oklahoma State is amazing, even in the Oklahoma game. They don't pass the ball very much. They probably won't. Notre Dame wins by 8. All right. You got Notre Dame here who Kyron Williams, star player. He is playing, I think. I think they'll be able to run on Oklahoma State a little bit. But Oklahoma State has a lot of firepower. Great athletes. Looking at this game from a standpoint, though, I do think, considering, considering that Notre Dame won't have to worry about defending the pass from Oklahoma State too much, they'll focus on the run. I think that will help them a lot. And honestly, I do think Notre Dame will win this game. I'm going to go a low-scoring smash-mouth. A lot of smash-mouth games in bowl season. That's fun. 21-14, Notre Dame will come away with the win. And their first big bowl game win in 28 years. 0-11, 0-10, whatever it is. Finally get a win. Yes, I'm giving it to Notre Dame here. They're winning this game. Internet deciding they want to opt out again. I would hope not. That's not a very good decision. Yeah, save them too. Next is the Rose Bowl. You'd think Ohio State would be huge favorites here. And they kind of a 4.5 point favorite, 64 over under. But look at the players. Haskell, you got the 2 best wide receivers, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, gone. They got Haskell, the best defensive player for Ohio State, as their defense isn't very good. But Haskell, Garrett or something, that's the best defensive player they got, T-tackle. He's opting out, and then they got a lineman opting out. Utah has the firepower and the energy, and they're really hot right now. They're on a huge win streak. They've blown out everybody, even Oregon, twice. So, they haven't lost since Oregon State. They've destroyed UCLA, destroyed Stanford, destroyed Arizona, destroyed Oregon, destroyed Colorado, destroyed Oregon again. They had some bad early season losses. This is really tough to pick, especially after all the opt-outs for Ohio State. But Ohio State is a stacked wide receiving core. Just with their receivers opting out that's not gonna make them vulnerable on offense. Considering C.J. Stroud is still playing, that's at a really great run. They're really good at running the ball. I think they'll still be fine on offense for the most part. The part where I don't think they'll be fine is where Michigan rushed for over 300 yards against them. Yeah, they're playing another running team, which is not very good in Ohio State's circumstances here. I think they will score a lot. I think Utah, they'll kind of keep up with them a little bit, considering, they're going on Ohio State's weakness here. Utah not upset. I was thinking that but changing my mind a little bit, I'm going to go with Ohio State here, 38-31. I just think the backup wide receivers of Ohio State are really good. Nakia Smith, who's the other one? But all I know is that, I mean, that's why Jameson Williams left Ohio State. Ohio State's wide receiving core is so in-depth. I don't think it affects them as much with their receivers opting out. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, stars. But I do think they'll be a little bit vulnerable on defense, especially with Haskell Griffin opting out. Utah will definitely have more motivation, I think, as well. That's a big part. They'll be motivated to beat Ohio State. Ohio State, not so much to beat Utah. Another disappointing season for Ryan Day. Well, it's not where they want to be. You don't want to ever lose your arch rival. But back to what I think is the most interesting and best New Year's Six bowl game, considering, I don't know, Utah's playing very well. Yeah, I don't know. I think it will be very well. But the best New Year's Six bowl game, Baylor versus Ole Miss. And this is one of the classic New Year's Six bowl games. No opt-outs. Two great teams, even matchups. This is, I mean, no opt-outs here. Matt Corral's playing. The star player for Baylor's defense is playing. Literally everybody is playing in this game, which is really, really good. Really good. Here. They're both on 4-game win streaks. Baylor winning the Big 12 title. Beating Oklahoma and Oklahoma State on the way. Ole Miss going into Texas A&M and beating the Aggies at Kyle Field. Getting a big one in the Egg Bowl. But yeah, Ole Miss takes it. All right, yeah. I think it's a 50-50 game. Considering everything, though, Baylor by 9. Oh, by 9. I like it. Ole Miss, one of the underrated things about Ole Miss, and they've been doing this all year, they run the ball really well. You got a Baylor defense that's really good. You got an Ole Miss defense that kind of struggles a little bit. But considering Matt Corral's playing, you got Matt Corral. You got the run game for Ole Miss, Drummond, all those guys. Baylor runs the ball in their own right really well. They quick running backs up the middle. Not really smash mouth football, but got the road runners. Baylor doesn't pass it that well, though, which is really concerning, considering they're kind of one-dimensional on offense coming into this game. I think it will be high scoring. I really do. And honestly, I think Ole Miss is going to take this one 49-42 in a really, really good game here. I think it's going to be the best New Year's Six bowl game, non-playoff game. I think playoff games might be a little bit better. All right. Now to the playoff games, the games we've all been waiting for me to predict. We got Neo's team, Alabama, and then my team, Georgia, and then Christopher's team, Georgia Tech, looking for a new head coach, certain head coaching search. Now, they haven't fired Jeff Collins, but who knows? They might. I think we'll probably be going after next year. Sorry, Chris. Well, that's good news for Christopher. 3:30 ESPN. Alabama's favored by 13.5. Whew. Over under is 58. Man. I'm guessing y'all both say Alabama. If Traveling is here, he'd say Cincinnati. In his words, Cincinnati. Natty is in national champions. He has Cincy over Michigan in the national championship. We need to fire this clown. Yeah, y'all do. But I can't tell if Traveling's being serious when he says he's probably joking. I think I think he's joking. I'm not even worried about it. Cincinnati's undefeated, and then you got Alabama, who struggled in a lot of games this year. I can count them off for you. Neo says I think Bama wins. Bama struggled in a lot of games this year, from Florida to Texas A&M to Tennessee to LSU, to Auburn, and then they throw all that away and just expose Georgia. So, one of the best offenses in the country, Alabama, and they got Cincinnati. Cincinnati, though, they run that 3-3-5 and have really great DBs, especially Kobe Bryant. And you got the other guy. The pass rush, I don't think that would be as big of a problem, especially with the 3-3-5. I'm not saying it's a sure thing, but I think Bama will win. And honestly, Cincinnati's better DBs than Georgia. But they beat UGA. Yeah, that's my point, Christopher. I said that. Let's throw away the Bama by 50 narrative for a second here. Look at this game realistically. Down to its points and everything. You got Cincinnati, who has better DBs than Georgia. They run a 3-3-5. I don't think their pass rush will be a problem for Bama, especially considering 3-3-5. If Bama could run the ball, if they can run the ball really well against a 3-3-5, they did it pretty well against Ole Miss. They did it okay against Arkansas. But, I mean, they just don't, I don't know. I don't know if they can do it. But they have exposed some 3-3-5s by passing it. Arkansas and Georgia. He's just rubbing it in, Jacob, I know. But Arkansas and Georgia. But you got Cincinnati. This is probably... That's the one thing Cincinnati has compared to these other teams. Their secondary. Best secondary Bama's played all year. I still think Jameson Williamson gets fair share. If Quan Brooks, he gets in the game, they could get his fair share. Latu and Billingsley. Well, Billingsley, if he plays. Saban should play him. Grow up and play him. But you got Cincinnati offense. I think it's going to be pretty hard to score on Bama's defense, especially considering I don't think that's Cincinnati's strong suit. They run the ball with Jerome Ford really well. They pass the ball decently. Bama's run defense is really great, though. Ever since the Florida game, it's been really well. Really great, honestly. Really great run defense. Taking all that in, though, yes, let's just get to the point here. I do think Bama's going to win this game. Cincinnati, one of the best pass defenses in the nation, obviously. The run defense, But I do think it will be interesting with their DBs and everything. Looking at it from this standpoint, though, I think Bama will take this one. They will take it, yeah. I think I'm going to go 30. I'm going to go 35-17, honestly. What I see is a decently close game in the first half. I think Alabama will pile it on a little bit in the second half. 35-17, that's my score prediction for the Alabama versus Cincinnati game. Sorry about that earlier. You're fine, Mr. Chomps, but look, we don't want to deal with drama here, so you want to keep it. If so, just how old are you? You grown man or kid or what? What's the deal here? What are we dealing with? I'm a kid. Georgia versus Michigan. All right, this is the game y'all been waiting for. My favorite team is Georgia. Look, 12-0. Bad game in the SEC title. Michigan. Lost to Michigan State. Beat Ohio State. Beat Iowa. You're 10 years old. 10. Oh, okay. All right, that's cool. You're 10 years old. All right, well, we can manage that. Let's just be patient. But you got UGA with the Mr. Chomps. You'll be hitting next time. Yeah, don't do that again. 7.5 for Georgia being favored. 45.5 over under. Yeah. I think I'm going to give UGA the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I mean, we know the story to this game. Michigan's run game versus Georgia's run defense. Georgia's run defense has been practically locked down all year. Nobody's really run on Georgia. No, not even Alabama. How old are you? I'm actually 14 now. Birthday. I started this YouTube channel, you know, when I was 12, I think, or something like that. Long way coming. You got Georgia's pass defense. We got exposed, but you got the Georgia pass rush. I think the one thing that Michigan has on Georgia when throwing the ball is I think they'll win a lot of jump balls. The wide receivers are really good, just a mediocre quarterback they got. Uh, I think the thing for Georgia is stack the box with 7 people. When's your birthday? Uh, Christmas, actually. My birthday is actually on Christmas 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Um, but look here, you got. I already did that. All right, I picked Ole Miss to win, 49 to 42. You know, you gotta stick around for the stream, man. You can't just. All right, all right, okay. But you got Michigan versus you got Georgia versus Michigan here. Um, Georgia, their defense. We happy belated birthday. Wow, happy belated birthday. Mr. Trump said thanks. Sorry. All right, it's all right. Just But you got. I think Georgia. What they need to do is they need to stack the box with 7 people. I love answering y'all's comments. So I gotta Oh, happy birthday, Christopher. But yeah, I love answering y'all's comments. So I gotta explain this game a little bit. You got to stack the box 7 people. I think you just keep it 1-on-1. Michigan's receivers are good, but they're not. They're not the guys that win jump balls. They're the guys that route run you and shake you. Um, they're those types of players. Um, and I think you really got to stop Michigan's run game. They're really physical. It's a battle of the trenches. Michigan's offensive line, Georgia's defensive line. Whoever wins that battle will be huge. You got Jordan Davis. I think hopefully he can take up 2 players. If he can't, then he needs to just make a bunch of plays. And you got Georgia's linebackers who really good run stoppers. And Michigan decides to throw the ball. You're facing Jalen Carter, Devontae White, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, uh, Quay Walker, Channing Tindall. I could go on and on. Georgia's defense. It did get exposed versus Alabama. I mean, Nolan Smith, all that. But look, I think you stack the box. You go 1-on-1 with Michigan's receivers. That's the best way to cover them. I think you're gonna have a really good day from Georgia. Michigan will throw in a trick play, I think, but I think Georgia will be ready for it. Uh, that's the one thing. Michigan's always run they're having the same offense they've always had, but they've implemented a lot of gimmicks and trick plays. That's something different to their offense this year, and it's working. It's really working. Um, I gotta stretch my legs a little bit. Sorry, we got 1 viewer in the chat, but I need to get to the game here. Amber Alert. Oh, Jesus. Over custody issues. Wow. That's what I'm looking at here. Yeah. So let's get down to the nitty gritty here and predict this game though. But I think Georgia's defense for the most part will have a great day. Georgia's facing the Michigan run defense that's not very good. Not very good against running teams. We saw against Michigan State. Jesus, man, this Amber Alert is kind of. This is exactly what I use. I always use ESPN for football and basketball and all sports. All right, can y'all be patient for a second? Get this Amber Alert over with because this is really interrupting my prediction video, and I can't really say anything because this is talking over me. So So just hang on for a second. Just hang on. Hang on. Let this go through. I promise we'll get back to the predictions. Just hang on. Back to the prediction video. All right. So you got Michigan. I'd stack the box 7 people. You got Michigan who, I'd run a lot of trick plays against Georgia, at least a couple. I think Georgia defense will do. You got a girlfriend. All right. Yeah, but we're not doing that stuff right now. We got Georgia versus Michigan. Well, I need to get this through this. I love entry y'all's comments. Georgia running the ball against Michigan's run defense. It hasn't been great in big games. I think they'll score enough to win the game by doing that stuff. But Stetson Bennett will do good enough. Christopher, come on, dog. But you got Michigan, Georgia. But I think Georgia will do good enough to win this game, and I think I got a score prediction. I had 29 1-9 earlier, but I've changed it 24-10. Georgia will come away with the win and advance to the national title. Come on, man. Make 1980 proud. I said in my opinion. I didn't say anything, Christopher. Jeez. But you got 1980 here, man. We all rooting for you. Vince Dooley, my signatures. You already know it. Know what? Man, Michigan not winning this game. Jeez, Christopher. Yeah, Christopher on some crack here. No, I'm just kidding. Michigan can win this game, but I think Georgia will win. I'm a Georgia fan, though. 68% chance Georgia will win. Now, Georgia versus Alabama, the rematch. Hashtag 1980. The rematch here. We'll stand up during this national title prediction. Thank you to my computer who provided me with all the ball games. But we gotta stand up here. My back is hurting. I'm sitting down for too long. Oh, jeez. All right. You got Georgia here. You got Georgia. I think, look, this is my game plan versus Alabama, and it's simple. Put Latavius Brennan in instead of William Poole. Keep Darion Kendrick on Jameson Williams, second 26. All right, whatever. We got Darion Kendrick. Put him on Jameson Williams on, he's the fastest corner. He's really our only fast DB. Got Crimson. Oh, what's up, Crimson Brave? Poverty UGA. Yeah, whatever. But Darion Kendrick is our fastest DB. Really our only fast DB. We got Latavius Brennan. You got to put him in over William Poole. I don't even know why William Pole's in. I don't like Dan Jackson in the game. I'd rather just have the triplets of Darion Kendrick, Latavius Brennan, and Christopher Smith, and then have Lewis Cine knock Alabama's receivers' heads off over the middle. Do that stuff. In fact, that's actually very useful because over the middle, that's where we struggled a lot of times on pass plays versus Alabama. So to have a guy who can hit over the middle, not saying avoid targeting penalties, obviously. Have a guy who can provide that. If he can lay one hit, get Alabama receivers a little bit shaken up, do those things. I think that will be very useful. You have to, and I mean you got to pressure Bryce Young from the outside. We did 3 2-man rushes all throughout the first half and just let Bryce Young lit us up. We don't have good enough DBs to just drop back and let Alabama pass it, You can't really do that against great quarterbacks nowadays. It doesn't work. Arkansas did the same thing, and Cincinnati's doing the same thing coming into this game, but they actually got really good DBs. Still not saying it's a great strategy, though. I mean, you got to pressure Bryce Young. Auburn, LSU did. Hey, they held him. They held 20 and Auburn held him to 10 points in regulation. LSU held him to 20, so 15 points per game there. I know Alabama finished 24 points, but look, man, you got to pressure Bryce Young, especially if the guys we got on the outside. Why in the world were we blitzing our best pass coverage linebackers through the A gap? Come on, man, you blitz on the outside as well. Because we did send some blitzes in the second half, but you got to blitz on the outside. Let Nolan Smith and you gotta blitz with Nolan Smith. He's our best, and then Nakobe Dean. He's got to stay back and cover the middle. Quay Walker and Channing Tindall. I'd like to see Quay Walker on some blitzes, Channing Tindall and pass coverage. Two middle or inside linebackers there. You got to have those two guys in covering the middle, get as well as Lewis Seen, and then I think you put Christopher Smith, do all that. Man coverage for us, Alabama. I don't know about that. I like zone coverage a little bit better. Cover the middle, cover the outside edges, cover deep. Uh, you know, maybe you could have maybe deep is where you could have, I don't know who you could have there. Maybe Christopher Smith. Just three corners in the game, considering how fast Alabama's receivers are instead of two safeties and two corners. I'd like that package a little bit better. Or I'd like the package where maybe we have five DBs, six. We blitz. Or we could have a. I'd like to have five DBs, and then we can blitz. We could blitz 5 or 6 linebackers, or in some cases we blitz all 6. And we need to send a lot of 6, 7 pressures. What do you say? Even JT Downs. Yeah, well, you got to move on from that. Just send the farm on Bryce Young. Put in Latavius Brenny. I'd like to see William Poole. One thing he is good at, he's not good at man coverage, but he can cover the deep zone, so I would put him in sometimes for that. Those purposes. We need Christopher Smith and Latavius Brenny. They cover the inside very well, and Darion Kendrick. He's our best man. He's our best corner, best man-to-man coverage guy, and he's our fastest corner, and he covers the outsides very well. And William Poole deep. Lewis Seen just knocks people's heads off over the middle. J-Dub said your dream is about to end. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine. He thinks that, but. And then for us on offense, Alabama has a pretty good run defense, but they got exposed one time this season. I don't see why they can. I mean, I think we'll be able to run the ball decently on Alabama. The thing is, we actually have to run the ball. We can't pass it 30, 40 times a game. I know we're down, but you got to consistently run the ball. Do it on whatever side Will Anderson's on. If Will Anderson's on the right side, run it to the left. If he's on the right side, run it to the. If he's on the left side, run it to the right. I'm not saying that Alabama doesn't have any other defensive players, but running away from him is your best option. He's 31.5 tackles for loss. I'd like to see a lot of runs up the middle as well. Get that inside push. Run up on Alabama's middle linebackers. I think that'll work. And then throwing it, I think throwing a couple 2 to 3 jump balls to George Pickens, I think that'll be pretty useful. And then we can get Jermaine Burton or try to get Dominic Blaylock and Karis Jackson. Brock Bowers, get him over the middle. I think getting if Arian Smith is able to come back, hitting him on deep, that'll help out a lot. Get Karis Jackson on his. Get Karis Jackson. Throw a lot of just one-on-one balls. Really, that's what Stetson Bennett. It's kind of all we can do. Donald Blaylock, hit him with his route running. Him and George Pickens, best route runners on the team. So any slant routes, out routes, hit Dominic Blaylock on those. Free up George Pickens a little bit. That's what I do on offense. When UGA loses, Kirby's going to take his whole team to Six Flags just to find out any team. Find out Bennett can't ride any of those rides. All right. Well. part. But as for Alabama's case, we gotta look at from their perspective too, not just from Georgia's. You gotta hit Jameson Williams deep, even with Darion Kendrick on him. I mean, you gotta test it. You gotta test it. At least 2 times a game. I mean, you gotta hitting him over the middle. Bryce Young running the ball. See, that's not gonna be good for Alabama if they do that. But every now and then, surprise. I guess throwing a run when you have to. Uh, Now you got Brooks, who's probably going to fill in for Mechie. What you got to do with him is you just got to, Latavius Burney's not the fastest guy. He's going to press jam coverage, so he's probably going to be covering, or it might be William Poole. We might not make a change there. Consider it, but if it is Burney, I'd hit Brooks deep a couple of times. If we do keep Dan Jackson in there, if you're Alabama, you got to expose that. William Poole, he's not a very physical corner. Brooks is decently big, so you got to get there. Use that. You want away from. You run away from Will Anderson, get close, getting blown up. Yeah, that's what I said. Run away from him. No need to run into him. But I think, well, in Georgia's case, James Cook would be very useful because he's got that speed, that boost. Samir White's great too. Kendall Milton. We're looking at it from an Alabama perspective right now. You got to expose. Georgia's DBs are not very fast outside of Darion Kendrick. You got to expose that. Try to get as many matchups as you can of Jameson Williams off Darion Kendrick. And even if he is on Darion Kendrick, throw it to him. Use his speed and his ability to outrun those guys. Do your best you can running the ball. But if whoever's guarding, whatever receiver you have lined up on William Poole, he's not a very physical corner. Just, he's a little bit smaller. Run a slant route on him, inside routes. Alabama needs to get that in there. If you have Brenny on you, well, then you got to outrun him. Go deep on him. Brenny's not very fast. He's good at jamming you. But after those first 5 yards, you run deep on him, it's not going to be very great. Kelee Ringo, he makes a lot of mistakes. So anytime you can, running deep on him would be good because Alabama, or just getting him close coverage, because he does a lot of interference penalties. He doesn't turn his head around, so throwing some deep passes on him, that'll work out. As for Alabama's defense, you got to commit to the run here. I mean, leave Georgia's receivers 101, let them have their fair share, but you got to commit to the run here. Don't let Georgia run the ball on you. And if Kirby does start passing a lot, well, then drop back. Use Will Anderson to pass rush, and other than that, just put 5 DBs in the game. Keep one of your linebackers toe-to-toe or whatever. Keep him in the game. But, because that's what Kirby does too much against Alabama. For some reason, he runs it early, and he's done it a lot, and then he'll just stop. He'll stop, and he's done it the past 2 games. So run it, it works, and then he'll stop running it. Doesn't make sense. So if that happens, Nick needs to come up with the game plan for that. Yeah, but going back to Georgia, I think you got to, if you are going to run it on Will Anderson's side, or if you're throwing, say, double team Will Anderson, go one-on-one, head toe-to-toe with everyone else. Georgia's pass protection has been really good this year. So that's good. Run blocking wise, running backs have, been good enough. Looking at it from an objective perspective and everything, I'm pick Georgia here. I'm going to go 24-17. Georgia is winning the college football playoff. National title, baby. Count it up. Especially if they do all the things I say and I hope they're going to do. 24-17, but you have to pressure Bryce Young. If you don't pressure Bryce Young, you're going to lose. And you just got to keep running the ball. And if you don't keep running the ball, it's going to be very hard to win. But you got Brock Bowers, hit him over the middle. And tight coverage with Alabama. Alabama didn't really have a solution to him. So if you could just get him over the middle, that'd be nice. double team Will Anderson, throw your jump ball, fair share of the jump balls to everybody. Hit Dominic Blaylock on the inside a lot. That's what you need. Run to whatever side Will. If you're not going to double team Will Anderson, run to whatever side he's not on. Alabama puts 5 DBs in the game. Run it. Don't stop running it just because you're down or whatever. Keep running the ball, man. Don't make the same mistakes. And defense is simple. Pressure him. Press jam coverage. Do that with him. William Poole can cover the deep zone. Get Latavius Brenny. Press jam. Kelee Ringo. I don't know. I feel like this may not be the game for Kelee Ringo. Be honest. Keep Darren Kendrick on Jameson Williams the whole game. I'd say run zone coverages. Keep Lewis Cine over the middle. William Poole in the deep zone. Darren Kendrick, keep him within, the first half of the field. Tavius Brenny, just keep him, same thing. And then if you want to fill in, throw Christopher Smith in, like, covering slant routes and all that. Get him in there. Pressure 6-7 man. Keep Nakobe Dean. Some pressure, yes, use him on a blitz sometimes, but we need the outside pressure on Bryce Young. Pocket collapse. Because we can get the pressure up the middle. We got Devontae Wyatt and Jordan Davis. So, running the ball, they're probably not going to do that very much. But if you got Nakobe Dean and Channing Tindall, drop them back in the zone. Pressured Nolan Smith and Quay Walker a lot. Get Channing Tindall and Nakobe Dean their fair share of blitzes. But don't A-gap blitz a lot. Don't do that. Just blitz from the outside. That's what we need. We got our great D tackles, man. Jalen Carter's great too, but you got to pressure him over because all Bryce Young was doing is running around and, trolling and then throwing it deep. You just got to pressure Bryce Young. That's the main key, and don't stop running the ball if you're going to play Stetson, which you are. Playing JT would help out a lot, but you're not going to do that, so. All right, that's the end of the predictions, man. 2 hours around there, something like that. 28 different games, I think. 22 non-New Year's Six Bowls. And you got the 6 New Year's Six Bowls I talked about a lot. We got some really good bowl games, though. From the best non-New Year's Six Bowl games like Penn State and Arkansas, Clemson, Iowa State, and Oregon, Oklahoma. Got great New Year's Six Bowl games here. Pittsburgh, Michigan State battle of the opt-outs. Oklahoma State, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Baylor, and then Ohio State, Utah. And then you got 2 playoff games, Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, Cincinnati, and then the national title, which, 3 teams, big contention for that. But, look, Alabama can't sleepwalk Cincinnati. If you do that, they're going to lose. But that won't happen. Alabama's probably going to win that. Georgia versus Michigan, that'll be a battle of the trenches. Whoever wins the trenches is probably going to win that game, to be honest. That's the key there. And then Georgia versus Alabama. For Georgia, make your changes. For Alabama, try to expose what you did expose versus Georgia last time. Yeah, Kirby has a past history. Besides, outside the quarterback position, he does make a lot of changes to positions and schemes and all that. Plus, he's actually going to be coaching the full team this time as well. Dan Lanning's coaching he's calling plays for the defense, which Kirby's always been calling the defense. But it seems like Dan Lanning's going to take it over there. Todd Monk is still going to call the offense. And Kirby's going to be a head coach. And, but Will Muschamp's still going to do his thing, help out with the defense as his analyst, all that. Prepare for Michigan, prepare for Alabama. Do what we did wrong. The analyst helps us out a lot because it helps, us rematch for Alabama and then face Michigan's run game. Sorry, Cincinnati fans. I'm saying rematch for Alabama, but that's probably what it's going to be. You guys could win, I guess, but I don't know if any Cincinnati fans are watching anyways. This community is pretty much Georgia, Alabama fans, 90%, and then you fill in Georgia Tech fan like Christopher and all that. But 3 likes on the video. Thank you very much. Hit that like button. Make your changes, man. Just change, stop Michigan's run game, one-on-one with receivers, and change. Watch for the trick play. They'll hit it eventually in the game. Yeah. Yeah. And, that's all I really had to say for the video. Thank you for everyone who's watching. It says 2 people are watching still. Yeah, man. Had a good meal. Got my Georgia stuff here. Dog Monopoly. Signed Herschel Walker, signed Vince Dooley stuff, signed Kobe Bryant stuff. We got that with me just to show it off a little bit in the video of Georgia. The 1980 bottle. Yeah. I like having setups like this. It brings a little bit of a vibe to the video. I think I should do more of that stuff in the future. What do y'all think? Oh, man, thanks for coming out to the stream, guys. Y'all really did it. Y'all really did the thing today. Y'all did it today. My first couple of streams, I wasn't getting that much views, and I was just like, so I kept restreaming. And then I decided I have a 1990 Coke bottle. That's nice, Christopher. But I decided, I'm going to stream again. I won't, I'm going to keep, unless, what was I going to say? I didn't want to start the prediction until someone came to the stream and actually, saw my predictions. But, it's a great stream. We had Christopher in here. Christopher Brave is in here. Neo was in here earlier. I don't know. I don't think he might still be watching, but he hasn't come in the chat for a long time, so I'm assuming that he's not here anymore. We just Mr. Chomp, Sky, or whoever came in here. Or I don't even know. I've never seen him before. You had Traveling Fools in here earlier, very early in the stream. Alpha Dog was in here at one point, I think. Shout out to everybody who came. Yeah. We're coming up on 2 hours here. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to get it to 2 hours. Saw dog. We had Monday Night Football. We had the Hawks game on, which helped out the stream as well. Saw the dog thing. It's really cute there. And, oh yeah, well, we'll give Crimson Brave some joys. That's what Najee's doing in the NFL right now. Yeah, the Alabama rookies have actually done very well. Outside of Alex Leatherwood, he needs some work. But other than him, the Alabama rookies, the other 5 first-rounders have done really well, actually. And Mahomes is hyped. But, yeah, I'm going to make a stream at the NFL playoffs at one point later. It's really interesting right now. Of course, you got the 17-game season. So, because of that new rule, 2 games left. You got the 17 playoff. That's a new rule implemented last year. That being said, you got 7 teams in each conference and playoffs now. So if you care about the NFL, we'll see about that. Aside from these bowl games, hopefully, for the love of God, no more cancellations, no more opt-outs. I think you've seen enough of that show, man. We can't. I don't. Specifically, these ACC teams are opting out of bowl games. There's a difference between Texas A&M where you don't have enough. Yeah, Chiefs whooped Steelers 36-10. Let's go, Chiefs. Christopher says, all right. I didn't know you were a Chiefs fan. That's interesting. But specifically the ACC, Texas A&M, they had the opt-out, okay? They didn't have enough players. They literally couldn't play. But all these ACC teams in Hawaii, on all these teams quitting when they really do have enough players, just a couple players get COVID and then they quit. It's and the ACC teams like Virginia, Miami, who else am I talking about here? I mean, you're opting out. You don't need to. You could still play. You just at Boston College as well. That's right. And then you got Hawaii, Boise State opted out. Who else opted out? Texas A&M. They opted out a little earlier, but they had to. So at least they had to. Yeah, but all these teams quitting, opting out. They got the players: Kenneth Walker, Kenny Pickett, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. I'm Chiefs and the Falcons fan. Falcons are always my home team. Well, that's great. I need to release my Falcons versus Lions reaction. The live stream is up, yes, but I need to, my game-winning interception reaction, I need to release that. That was crazy. I was so ecstatic. And sad thing, I don't think that anybody was watching at the time. But that was a great reaction, man. I need to post a separate video of it. That was great. But all the key players opting out: Kenny Pickett, Kenneth Walker, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. Who else opted out? Who else quit? In their own words. Who else was it? I don't know. Too many to count at this point, really, to be honest. Oh, yeah, Brees Hall opted out for Jeff Webster's. Well, his team's Alabama. His second favorite team's Iowa State. Brees Hall quit. And it really, and people say that, that they don't have to, why don't they, well, we have 3 or 4 losses a season, why don't the players opt out then? I think it's a thing where I don't think it's much more, yeah, I think they're quitting, yes, they are. I think it's also more of a thing where it's like they don't got to prepare for the NFL then. But if they opt out of a ball game, then they can get with an NFL agent early. But they can't get with an NFL agent early while there's still games in the season left, They can't do it then, but they can do it during ball season. And I think that's the main thing that triggers the opt-out. I really do. Plus, if you opt out in the middle of the season, I also just think that, you got to finish the year and pad your stats and all that. I think that's another thing, too. But it's also saying another thing. Jamar Chase opted out an entire season during the COVID. Which, thank God, we're lucky we didn't see more of those things. Thank God that was only the COVID year where players were opting out the whole year. I'm surprised we haven't seen it a lot this year. But I mean, we remember Rondale Moore, Jamar Chase opted out the whole year. Who else opted out? Oh, yeah, Jamie Newman. Remember him? Yeah, opted out the whole year. Thank God we don't see that anymore. That was only for COVID. Thank God. But, yeah. Another thing I'm scared about is what if players literally start opting out the playoffs? That's not good at all. That'll bring a bad vibe. Yeah. But, what if Michigan does bring out J.J. McCarthy in the Orange Bowl if they start getting down something? What if we bring out J.T. Daniels at one point? That'd be great. I got to end the stream, though. We've been streaming a very long time. Sitting down a very long time. I'm going to chill for the rest of the night. And there's my poster there. I think I've showed off everything pretty much. Yeah, with the dog. Yeah. Food, KFC. Signed Kobe Bryant. Very nice. Signed Vince Dooley. Signed Herschel Walker stuff. And my Falcons blanket down here. My Falcons jacket. I'm just going to show off stuff now. Falcons jacket that's inside out. If I'm not wrong, I'm either 15-6 or 14-6 on bowl game predictions this year, which is really decent record. Ballard's first place, but when he did the tiebreakers, he didn't do that well. I'm not going to spoil it because he wants to tell you guys stuff, so he told me not to say anything. But let's just say he's going to rub some people the wrong way. His tiebreaker predictions, aka his playoff predictions, Marietta jacket. What else do I show off? Word blank in the closet. I don't know. I've pretty much showed off everything I can. Falcons bottle here. Bottle bank, you call it candy. George Shorts down here. I don't know. George blanket. I don't know what else. Should I just shut up and leave? It's probably what I should do. I have some more cards that came in anyways before I did the stream, so I'm going to get to that. Thank you guys so much, though, for tuning in the stream and everything. My Matt Ryan jersey here. Thank you guys so much, though. I've always done the bottle, but I think we're going to peace out with the picture this time. We're going to try. Peace. And go Dogs. We still got to do the bottle, though, right? Peace and go Dogs. 1980, baby. All right. Bye. In the stream. Man, what a day, what a day. Peace.